That he didn't put it off. He didn't go, well, I'll do that. I'll get to 1 million subscribers and then I'll do that. I'll sell a few more records and then one more tour and then I'll spend time with the family. He did it. Isn't that beautiful?
There's a lot of emotion in your face when you tell that story.
It's a beautiful story, isn't it? I mean, when you think about it, you go, that's life, isn't it? And mortality, I think, is something we don't think about enough. Right? I love that, the Muslim phrase for death, the certainty. You know, we're in this brief shaft of light between two oceans of darkness. Like everyone always thinks about the tail end, right? And thinks about what happens after you die. Mark Twain had this great quote. You know, he said, I wasn't alive for billions of years before my birth, and it didn't inconvenience me in the least. But this brief shaft of light's it's magnificent, isn't it?
I think so. I think it can be. This idea of, depression is essentially thinking about yourself too much. Last time we spoke on the podcast, you talked about...
I would say, that feels to me maybe a little bit too harsh, because I think people suffer with depression and it's a disease and it's incredibly serious. And we think of suicide as being something that stands alone. It's a symptom of a disease called depression, right? So it's the permanent solution to a temporary problem. You don't want to feel this way anymore, but actually you don't want to feel nothing anymore. You'd like to feel better. So it's that thing of I don't think we talk about it enough, but I think that thing of, thinking about yourself all the time, I think it just can lead to a melancholy, a sadness. I think depression is maybe a slightly separate thing. Not to nitpick, but it feels like that's a disease.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot of sadness in the world. Mm. And you're lucky if you're sad. Because if you're sad, it's circumstantial and you can do something about it. Are you depressed because you have a serotonin imbalance in your head and it's a heritable trait? Or are you sad because your life hasn't worked out the way you want it to work out? Well, if that's the case, the latter, you're in luck because you can change that.